happening, y'all? Welcome back to another exciting episode of the Creatia Conversation, where we talk creativity and media and all that nerdish. I'm your host, Lord Cussalot Travis Pointer, a.k.a. the Dragon King, a.k.a. Big T, a.k.a. T Money, a.k.a. Sweet T, a.k.a. Black Merlin, a.k.a. the HNIC. And I'm joined once again by my co-hosts, Mara the motherfucking Shark Watkins. How you doing, Mara?
I'm doing okay. I accidentally watched Twitter refresh, and the first thing that popped up was a close-up of a Longhorn Beatles face. So if you were wondering why I was making a face, that was why.
I assumed it was because Travis was flipping off the camera.
No.
I was just doing it back to you.
I was just counting
as
you did your thing.
So was I. I was counting the last two names.
We're also joined by the patron saint of podcasting, the warden Matt Ritter.
Thank you, Mara.
Hi, Matt.
Hi, Travis.
So this is the time when I normally ask y'all what you've been watching, what you've been playing, but I'm going to do something a little bit different.
I don't do well with change, you know that.
Yeah. Well, you're going to have to get over it.
Hi, Matt. Hi.
Did you just mute her while she was trying to talk? That's so rude.
I didn't want her to interrupt you while you were trying to talk.
Her.
Man.
I'm a parent. I absolutely can.
I'm about to bring something back because we need to talk about this. So right now, it's newsy time.
Whoa.
Sing it, Mara.
It's newsy time.
So yesterday was the big Nintendo Switch 2 Direct, and I just want to talk about that for a minute.
Okay.
Did either of you watch it?
No, because I thought we were going to watch or talk about it today, so I waited.
If it was today, we would have watched it, but it was yesterday. So
internet's all over it now.
So we're just gonna talk about it briefly, and then we gonna move on.
I'm still gonna watch it later. I just haven't gotten around to it.
It was good. News that came later was not so good, but we can talk about that later or now. But I'm just gonna play this in the give us a little B-roll here while I just kind of go through what they talked about at the Switch Direct yesterday. This comes from Polygon, okay? So this is everything announced at the Nintendo Switch 2 Direct. Once again, Polygon from Matt Patches. After months of speculation, Nintendo announced the Switch 2 console on January 16th, and that was about it, with close-ups of the new unit and a few shots of a theoretical new Mario Kart. Nintendo went the Nintendo route of meeting
Was that
extreme
only
demand.
in January?
Huh?
Was that in January?
Yep.
Oh, wow.
The reveal came with a promise. More news on April 2nd. The day has come. In an hour-long Nintendo Direct presentation on Wednesday morning, Nintendo unveiled much, much, much more about its plans for the Switch 2, which launches in June. To quote Mario, wahoo! All right, so here's what went down. Nintendo Switch 2. Man, not PlayStation 2. I don't know how that happened. And release date has been confirmed. The Nintendo Switch 2 will be released worldwide on June 5th, 2025 in the US. The console by itself will cost $449.99. So $450. While a $499.99 package will be bundled with a digital copy of the launch title Mario Kart World, which is the new Mario Kart they showed off. Nintendo will begin taking pre-orders on April 9th, 1 week from now.
In my tax bracket, that's $544.
Just so y'all know, this Saturday, April 5th, is Matt's 38th birthday. And I am perfectly fine with you waiting 4 days to get me a present.
If you wish. It won't come from me. But if somebody out there wants to,
they can work that out with you.
Basically, if you love Matt that much, I don't. But if y'all love Matt that much, you go ahead and do that.
Matt, I will say we tried this when I tried to vie for a PS5, and mind you, that was about 4 years after the PS5 had originally released.
So to be fair, Mara, I don't necessarily 100% know our audience, and I have a feeling maybe it's not our audience, but people on the internet in general tend to prefer white cis males. So I might have a better chance because you are a female.
That's fair.
And black.
Yeah, you know. See, look, Will loves me that much, but he's poor. But Will, we're working on.
So he doesn't love you enough to go poor to get you.
Hold on,
go poorer.
Me and Will are working on selling a documentary to Netflix about Will's life, and once he gets rich off that, and I gave him the name, at the very least, he's getting me a Switch too.
That's my point. If he has to wait till he's rich to do it, that's not love. That's just you got the money to spare.
That's convenience.
Listen, when I get rich, there's a lot of people that I love that are going to get stuff. There are a lot of people that ain't getting shit.
I mean, that's just logical. I understand.
It's love. Ooh.
So anyway, also was announced Mario Kart World. A new Mario Kart game was teased during the Nintendo Switch 2's initial reveal, but now it's official. Mario Kart World is arriving for the console's launch. This version's twist: the weather changes, off-roading is highly encouraged, and you keep on driving to the next course. So basically, you race, and in between races, you can go wherever the fuck you want. You can drive off-road and go and explore. It's open world Mario Kart, kind of like Forza Horizon, if you all are familiar with that game.
Okay.
I am. But what were they doing to that meat? Were they beating that meat?
They were beating that
meat. Looked like they were cutting it.
It's more fun to say they were beating it.
I'm sorry.
Listen, maybe I'm a traditionalist. I'm not loving the idea of Mario Kart being more than anything but Mario Kart. So, like,
watch the trailer and you'll see why this actually works. I can understand your feelings, though. I get it. And I thought about that myself. But then the more I thought about how this game is actually supposed to work, I'm kind of in. But anyway, also, packing in 24 racers in each race makes this the most open world experience of any Mario Kart. And there's the promise of tons of social multiplayer modes. Also, game chat. Get ready for a revolutionary pitch. You can now communicate with friends and family while playing a game. Because that's how Nintendo was talking about it. Like it was just some brand new thing that nobody had done before. But, you know, Nintendo. The Switch 2 has a microphone built into the console itself versus the controller. But Nintendo promises that even if your bro is blending a protein shake in the same room, noise-canceling tech makes it no problem to keep talking without a headset. Nintendo emphasized the use of parental controls in order to contrast itself to the Wild West of Discord. But the big reveal turns out that Switch 2's mystery C button launches game chat. Also, there's the Nintendo Switch 2 camera. Y'all saw the thing here when there was some visual stuff happening at the bottom.
Yeah.
People video chatting during the game. Nintendo is reinventing Zoom. While you can play your games and talk to your buds using game chat, the new camera accessory arriving at launch can give your multiplayer sessions a video call-esque twist.
I don't want to fucking look at people.
I'm good with that. I don't need anyone seeing me while we're playing a game.
Yeah, because I guarantee you, John will be taking a shit playing with me, and I don't want to watch him make his poop face while we're trying to play.
Yeah, that is a guarantee.
Also, if I really wanted to talk with like my friend while we were playing something, I have no problem just like doing the regular or with this fucking FaceTime.
Yeah. So while the Switch allowed for local play on one console using two Joy-Cons, local play via game share. While Switch allowed the local play on one console using two Joy-Cons, the Switch 2's game share function will allow pals to play each other in a local setting using a single shared game, even if the friend doesn't own a copy. So basically, I can bring my Switch to Matt's house and we can both play Mario Kart without both of us owning Mario Kart.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah.
7.9 inches?
Average.
That's a sexy slim.
So Nintendo Switch 2 Welcome Tour. All the new technology packed into the Switch 2 excited the team at Nintendo so much they decided to make an entire game that allowed players to learn about and experiment with various features. The Nintendo Switch 2 Welcome Tour, which feels like the Nintendo equivalent of Astro's Playroom on PlayStation 5.
And I will say 7.9 is a lot.
Say what now?
I was responding.
We're still talking about dick sizes, Travis.
I know. What'd you say?
Oh, well, Will said 7.9 is about an inch longer than average. And I was saying, and 7.9 is still a lot.
I guess. I've never had to take one before.
I was going to say.
You just let her say what she needs to say, all right?
I just said okay.
Yeah, I didn't like the way you said that.
Like I said, I've never had to take one before, so I don't know. Had no complaints. But anyway, that's a lie. I'm sorry. I take that back. All the new technology packed into the Switch 2. Excited, blah, 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 blah. Okay, so the game puts players in charge of a little guy who goes around exploring a giant version of the console, as well as playing mini games that take advantage of the Joy-Cons to motion controls and mouse capabilities. Now, when I describe that game to you, where basically all you're doing is just running around and looking at the Nintendo Switch and seeing how the Nintendo Switch works, you would think this just came for free with the game, with the console, right?
Of course it doesn't.
Nope.
It does not, though, because fucking Nintendo.
You think it'd be like Astro's Playroom.
Yeah, exactly. You would think it just came with the shit so you can learn how this fucking thing works. But no. Motion and voice mini game upgrade for Super Mario Party Jamboree. Do either one of you play Mario Party?
I have Mario Party. I've played it with Kate.
I have played it. I have not played it in a while because don't you have to have other people to play with?
I mean, you can play it single player, but what's the point?
I mean, you got like 4 people in that house.
But don't all of us have to have the game then?
You can all play on one Switch if you had enough Joy-Cons.
Oh, okay. No.
Yeah, you just dock it and then play it on the TV and hand out Joy-Cons.
Because how many Switches are in the house?
2 Switch lights. I think one or 2. Problem. Yeah, we have 2 Switch lights.
And you probably don't have enough Joy-Cons.
No, I think we have. Baby, how many regular Switches do we have? Even though now this sounds like a setup.
My regular and then Julian's regular.
We have 2 regular.
And then Julian's mini.
Yeah.
And only one set of Joy-Con per regular Switch, right?
Yeah.
But each Joy-Con works as a single controller, so that's 4 controllers.
Yeah, that's just so awkward though with the tiny shit. You can do it.
Yeah, it's plausible. We also have 1 controller.
Oh, okay. Yeah, you can.
Will loves docking. Will's a huge fan of docking.
Gotcha. Well, now that these ding-dongs are a little bit older, it might be easier to play this with them.
Mm-hmm.
The evolution of watching them learn how to play games with each other, without screaming at each other, has been quite a time.
So there are 3 types of playable Switch 2 exclusives, Switch 1 backward compatible games, and Nintendo Switch 2 edition games, which upgrade Switch titles with console-specific enhancements. Super Mario Party Jamboree, for instance, will be re-released, but free to current owners, with new games like Bowser Live, which sees the King Koopa doing karaoke, and Player Sings. Lots of wacky stuff, but it's all possible with the Switch 2's more interactive capabilities. So it's kind of using the camera stuff with the voice chat stuff and making it all work together for more interactive experiences for Mario Party. So that's one of the things you can do.
Yeah, no. I was gonna say, just don't do that with my Pokemon.
You don't want to be all up in there with the Pokemon?
Listen, they can make Pokemon games that let you get all up in there. I don't want to have to buy a game to learn how to play the fucking thing and make the shit work. I just want to pop in a Pokemon game and play fucking Pokemon.
I get it. Enhanced Zelda games. Breath of the Wild Tears of the Kingdom will also receive enhanced editions for Switch 2, boasting upgraded graphics and HDR support, plus a GPS-like Nintendo app integration that can direct you to hidden Korok seeds. A tier-specific add-on lets friends share Zonai device builds using QR codes on the Nintendo app. I'm sure if you play Zelda like that, you know what that shit means. I don't.
I know what the seeds are. My understanding, because I saw a lot of people talking about it, was that it sounds like some of this stuff is going to be pay to play, where like you're going to have to pay for some shit for it to work, or I don't know.
It's basically there are certain upgrades, like the Switch 2 edition, you'll have to pay a fee to get the Switch 2 edition of a game. So it's basically works the same way that like PS4 to PS5 edition games work too. You give a little extra money and you get the newer edition of the game.
You almost got it, Travis. It's included with the different Nintendo tiers.
Certain games, yes, not all of them.
Yeah.
Drag and Drive, optimized for Joy-Con 2's motion controls. This new game drops players into a wheelchair basketball match. Yes, Nintendo did a murder ball. The trailer shows the unique moves needed to score and outpace your opponents. So basically the way it works is, you know how we were speculating that you can do mouse functions with the new Switch 2 Joy-Cons? That's true. So basically you can use two Joy-Cons as like two mice on like a table, and you're in a wheelchair and you push them like this, like you roll in the wheelchair and shit, and you watch it and like, oh, this is pretty nifty. I'll probably would play this like twice and I'd be over it, but this looks nifty, you know?
Yeah.
A buttload of third-party games. So they announced Elden Ring, Split Fiction, Hogwarts Legacy, Hades, Street Fighter 6, Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 3+4, Hitman World of Assassination, and Cyberpunk 2077, among other games that Nintendo Switch 2 ports were revealed of, during the Nintendo Direct. And a number of games, including Civilization 7, will implement the Joy-Con 2's new mouse functionality. There was also a few other first-party games like Hyrule Warriors, Age of Imprisonment. So the new Hyrule Warriors match. You kept telling me if in the Zelda world I'd enjoy that. But let's see. GameCube games are coming to Nintendo Switch Online. What's that?
I said then you learn what a Korok seed is.
Yeah, I guess so. But yeah, they're putting GameCube games on Nintendo Switch Online. Do either of you use Nintendo Switch Online?
Yes.
Oh, what do you play on there?
I've downloaded some of like the NES and the
You got the straight up one, or do you have the expanded?
I don't know.
Do you have Game Boy Advance games and N64 games and shit?
I haven't looked in a while, so I don't think so.
Okay, so you got the straight up regular one. Okay, gotcha.
I think I have the regular one too.
I had the regular one back in the day, and then I just realized it was not worth it for me because I barely pick up my Switch anymore. Once I paid for the year, and then the year ended, and I was just like, do I need to renew this?
I don't know if mine is still going
like 3
through
times a year.
Compatible Nintendo Switch games.
What's up?
I'm watching the video.
I know. Where's your question?
It showed some games and it said compatible Nintendo Switch games. I wasn't sure if it was all Nintendo Switch games, because they also showed that the game card is different and they're going to require a different kind of SD card for expanded storage, which pissed me off.
But the Switch 2 also has a lot more built-in storage than the original Switch does too. So 6 in one hand, half a dozen in the other.
I mean, I still got to pay $400. I'd like to pay the fucking or $450 without a game. And I'd like to pay the $450 and then just use my existing SD card to boost my storage and not.
But you already automatically have more storage.
A SanDisk Express.
But you already have 9 times more storage.
I don't even know what that comes out to.
Way more than you already have. I don't know that for a fact because I don't know how big your SD card is, but
I think it's a 256.
That's about even. Let's see. There's a new From Software game. Neither of you are Souls people, right?
No.
What?
Yeah. Another From Software game.
Neither of us have souls.
Bloodborne, Dark Souls, Elden Ring. Them
Speak
niggas.
for yourself.
Come on now, Mara.
Then they also announced Kirby Air Riders, a new 3D Donkey Kong called Donkey Kong Bonanza. No 3D Mario, though. No 2D Mario. So no new Mario yet.
Except
Just
for Mario Kart, Mario Party.
Mario Party isn't new.
Oh.
Yeah, it's the original Mario. It's the original, not the original, but the Mario Party from Switch just being upgraded for Switch 2.
Oh, then I already have it. Yeah.
Yeah. Now, there's more to this because we started to find out other things as the day went on after this was over. How much do you think these games are?
$50.
You fucking wish.
$100?
Not quite. Mario Kart, $80 digital.
That's what I said.
Why?
I was talking to Mara.
Oh,
There are
okay.
two of you talking here.
I know,
It's
but
not
you just
always
said Matt's
about you.
right.
I know you're white and you're used to everything being about you, Matt.
I am. I really am.
$80
About me and right.
digital for Mario Kart. But if you get it physical, $90.
But if you get
the
it
bundle
with the Switch bundle,
it's only
$50.
50. Right.
Stupid fucking bullshit.
Donkey Kong, $70.
Because you're also white.
These
So,
aren't
yeah.
even physical games, so it's not like we're importing them. What the fuck?
Yup. Nintendo said, fuck you, they'll pay it anyway. And they just put it out there. So yeah. That's what's happening with the Switch 2. There's more stuff happening today. There's the whole Treehouse Live thing they're doing today and tomorrow, showing off a little bit deeper into some games. And there's another Mario Kart Direct that's coming next month, I think, that's focusing completely on the new Mario Kart. But yeah, I just wanted to talk about the Switch 2, not spend the whole show on it because, like I said, yesterday, old news, but wanted to talk about it with y'all. Thoughts?
Fuck Nintendo.
I understand.
Like, I'm gonna buy it. I'm probably not gonna buy it at launch. I'm gonna wait for all the defective ones to come out and all the bullshit, and then I'll wait, and then I'll save my money and I'll get it. I'm gonna buy it, but like, there's a lot of bullshit in there
because it's just like, the
Nintendo
is a
tier
lot
shit
all at once. So I'll give you 20 at a time until this is paid off.
Yeah, no. A lot of frustrating bullshit. It's like when Xbox gave us the Kinect and it was awesome and it did all this cool shit, and then they took all the cool shit away and said we're not going to do that anymore
because people weren't using it.
People
decided it wasn't worth it.
Also, the interface that the Xbox 360 had versus the Xbox One and the Xbox One XS. No, it was the Xbox One that had the interface, I think. I don't remember anymore. But they did cool shit and they took it away. And it drives me nuts. And they give me a bunch of shit that I don't care about or need. And they charge a shit ton more money for everything. $80 for games? Suck a dick.
Especially digital.
Especially when we don't have Blockbuster or anything where we just go rent a game now.
That's the real thing that people don't think about because if you look at inflation, like, adjust for inflation, games actually used to be more expensive in the 90s. But here's the thing. We could go rent games for $250. Like I could go to the fucking video store on my bike right up the street and rent a game for $2.50 for a day and give them an extra $2.50 for a second day because I wasn't gonna bring it back on time because I wasn't done with it yet, But we don't have that anymore. So these you probably bought, back then like a couple games a year, and then the rest of the time you rent other things to play in between the time when you're playing those two big ones that you got in the year. Now we kind of just gotta buy them all or get Game Pass, but
or some kind of PlayStation Plus or whatever.
Or you got to play these damn free-to-play shits. And I'm not going to submerge myself into that world with those people. I'm just not doing it. I want nothing to do with that shit. Anyway, let's see here. Let's get into our topics. Mara, call it.
Heads.
Matt, what's your topic?
My topic. Oh, you just got it up. Look at that. You're so good now. My topic is if you had to defend a trivia topic that you thought that you could, that you were well versed in on a game show, like let's say The Floor, which I think I talked about last time. What trivia topic do you think you're an expert enough in to defend against other people?
Okay. You want us to go first? You want to go first? How you want to do this, sir?
I'm curious. I mean, mine are easy. Two of them were actually on the show, and I would have slaughtered anyone in them. And it was wrestlers and Halloween movies, specifically horror movies. I do podcasts on both of those things. So, yeah, no. You can put wrestlers up on the screen. I can tell you exactly who the fuck it is. Unless, like, we get, like, really, really old, then Will might kick my ass because, you know, he's an old fucking man and he knows all the people from the 40s and shit. So, but yeah, no, for the most part, wrestling, horror movies, those are my two go-tos. I would shit.
Well, for me, I was thinking about this for a while. And I'm like, what would it be? Would it be gaming? No, because there's people out there that submerge themselves in this shit and they know more than I do when it comes to that. So there are people who could beat me in that. So I'm like, what is the one that there's, you know, least likely people out there that would beat me in that? And then I was in the car going to get some food. And we were on our way back home. And it occurred to me, I don't remember how it occurred to me, that I'm just like, Travis, you've been training for this literally your entire life. Well, most of your life, your entire childhood. And I'm like, Bible trivia.
Okay.
Because listen, Matt, you know, we have forgotten more Bible shit than most people read in their entire life.
Yeah, I know, and I use it often to correct people on their bullshit.
Yeah, exactly. And that's my point. That would be my category. I would kick 90% of the world's ass in that.
To be fair, that was not what I pegged you for. I had two thoughts of what you would pick.
What was that?
Transformers. I have a feeling you could name pretty much any Transformer they pop up on the screen.
Most, yeah.
Or DMX songs. Those were my two picks for Travis. Transformers and DMX songs.
I would have said something about Dungeons and Dragons for Travis, or
that's no, because I feel like, dude, as deep as I am into D&D, there are so many people that are so far deeper into that well than me.
Katie said, see, listen, we can get everyone together at John's wedding. Katie, I'll talk to John, see if I can get you invited. And we can just play the floor. Like, we just skip the wedding, play the floor. Everyone will get a square, got to defend their shit. Katie's defending movie musicals. Mara, what are you defending?
I went through to see like what some other categories were, and I was like, which of these do I think I would definitely dominate at? But I also came up with The Sims, like the history of The Sims.
And that's kind of what I had you pegged for, was like sim things, you know, whether it's sim games or sim items,
teen dramas.
Well, luckily, it's not during the right John's wedding, because that's not how our John spells his name. So you're free for John's wedding. You just busy for another John's wedding.
Yeah, John with an H. We don't know. We don't care.
We don't know that guy. So
sounds like a narc. Disney characters.
Okay.
I would say I'm pretty good at geography. And to a certain degree.
So with geography, right? There was a dude who came on the show and he was like, I'm going to defend state capitals. And he thought,
I do know those.
He thought what they were going to do was,
I know them.
They were going to give you the state. Letter? No, they were going to give you the state and you were going to name the capital. What they did was they gave you the shape of the state, and asked you to tell them what the capital was.
Again, I'd be good until we got to Colorado and Wyoming or New Hampshire and Vermont. I get those mixed up all the fucking time.
There's a lot of square states.
Yeah, the Dakotas.
It's really just New Hampshire and not New Hampshire, just Wyoming and Colorado, the ones that are actually square shaped. There's some that are kind of square shaped, but I could still tell those apart.
Yeah, no. I can do the capitals one when they're listed as like a multiple choice, whether it's the state or it's the capital city. But I would go with those.
Okay.
All right.
What about you folks out there? If you were on the floor,
yeah, Will, what would you be defending? Zelda?
What would you defend out there? Let us know in the comments. We want to know.
2000s cartoons.
Mm.
Dynasty Warrior characters. Let's go.
Speaking of Dynasty Warrior characters, I know we didn't get into what we were watching and playing, but I've been watching this show called How a Realist
A trivia
Rebuilt the
topic.
Kingdom, and one of the characters in there referenced South South.
Okay.
And I was just like,
well,
oh shit.
You'd have to go up against somebody else. They put pictures or a description or something on the screen, and you would have to defend that against someone else and get the most correct answers in a trivia style game. It's called The Floor. You should check it out.
And by the way, I said South South because I know that's the way you properly say it, but it's still more fun to say cow.
It's cow cow.
It's still way more fun to say cow cow.
It's cow cow.
Which is why cow, mostly because I like to say cow pea, you know?
Yep. Instead of sow pea.
Yeah, or cow pie, you know? Either way. Yeah. Oh, man. All right. So there's quite a few trailers that we can check out here, but one of these I feel like we just have to watch because I'm in charge right now, so that's what we're doing.
What the fuck are they so loud?
Can you not pull a Mitch McConnell, please?
Yes.
The acclaimed drama.
Are we in live action South Park? Fuck yeah.
What?
Shelly, have you been because I think it could really help you.
Of course, Randy, of course.
Oh Lord.
Oh shit, Diddy.
That was Diddy.
Oh my God. It hasn't even been 90
Air traffic
days.
control shit too. Oh my God.
Actually, no, it has been 90 days, but you know what I'm saying.
Where are you going?
It hasn't even been a year.
Ketamine and fuck around with the government a little. See ya.
Oh, I can't fucking wait.
Blame
Same.
Canada.
Oh man,
Oh boy.
it's about to get wild.
Fucking love South Park, man. Oh, that makes me so happy. Mara, call it in the air.
Tails.
What's your topic?
Woo! My topic was if you could choose, what universe would you choose to have a dating sim made up of or based off of?
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like mine was quite predictable. I went with Supernatural with a runner-up of Game of Thrones if I was feeling a bit more riskier.
Okay. Game
How
of
about
Thrones
y'all?
was my answer. That's what's from my head. Man.
So apparently I'm fucking weird, but neither here nor there.
Well, we knew that, but you know, we're all pretty weird. That wasn't my only answer. My other answer was actually, you know, in the thumbnail because I thought like a Mortal Kombat dating sim would be very interesting.
Okay, that's a little more. So when you said dating sim, in my head, I pictured The Sims, and then I pictured cartoon, and I had a funny answer, and then so like Pixar moms.
I'm with you.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
But the funny answer was I want a South Park dating sim. which is funny that we played the trailer.
They're children.
I'm talking Cartman's mom, Craig's mom, Kenny's mom,
Randy.
Chef. I want to play as Chef and go around and fuck everybody's mom. Like Randy, yes, because they did the whole thing with Randy and the hot tub thing and then Butter's dad and the bathhouses and shit. Like,
Yeah.
there's a lot of places you can go. It's not just for straight people, right?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
we can do things with that.
I can picture it though when you mention Chef. We bring back Chef, and the game is your Chef trying to seduce the entire town in some way. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Or you play as Cartman's mom and you just try to rack up as many points as you can to get them out of that fucking hot dog shack.
That could be it too.
I think, aren't they out of it at this point in
They
the
are,
canon
yeah.
of
No,
their
they
story? Oh, okay.
They are. They got out.
You have to do some,
But yeah, no,
timeline, but
but Matt, the inspiration of this is just like the trailer that Travis shared with us
Date
outside of
Everything?
here for Date Everything. I have seen other dating sims advertised in different places. So I was just like, either the internet is now tracking what we're talking about on Slack, or there's
back
just a
in
lie.
the early days of Creatia World, John did a video of him playing a dating sim.
I was gonna say I've seen them too,
Oh,
but
right.
everyone that I've seen in ads and shit, again, all like anime-esque cartoon characters and shit. So like that's immediately where my head went. I'm like, all right, well, if it's gonna be that, like, let me get the Pixar moms. Like, what's Mrs. Incredible doing?
Mm-hmm.
Gotcha.
Yeah. It was interesting. I had to censor it to all hell so it'd be able to be posted on YouTube and Facebook. But yeah. Because
There's also like this game I used to play. It's like a mobile game called Episodes, where it's like storybooks, but they're told with like animated characters and such, kind of like how the Date Everything format looks in a way. Like they don't move or they're not animated, they're just there, but you get to choose like how your story unfolds. But that's what these dating sims remind me of. It just reminds me of a expanded version of this. Instead of it being a story, you're simulating just the dating part of it. If there's like, because some of them are just like they're horror stories, some of them are like romance stories. It's called Episodes. You might see it on the App Store, Matt, but or it might in the Play Store.
The wasn't what you were talking about. I just
so
like I've always had this thing where like, if at all possible, we actually meet aliens. I want a fucking alien. Rick and Morty dating sim, because that whole thing with Rick's ex-girlfriend who was like an entire planet. Like, let me get that.
I dig it.
See, Will gets it.
I want to clap alien cheeks.
I mean, you watch enough sci-fi, eventually you're gonna want a fucking alien,
So I found out. So I've been saying for a long time that I truly, in my head, believe that Darwin's theory of evolution and then the Christian theory of creation and all that, like, not exactly what happened, that I don't necessarily believe in evolution, at least in the way that it's presented in schools, that I think that at some point in our history, an alien came down and had sex with a primate, which kick-started the evolution. And then apparently Will sent me actual scientific data that says that they're also thinking that I might be fucking right. And it happened twice.
Yeah.
Which is why we are the way we are, and no other animal on the planet has gotten to where we're at intellectually.
It actually reminds me of something that came from South Park, because they were talking about evolution, and one of the kids, I don't remember who it was either Stan or Kyle, like, evolution can very easily be the answer to how and not the answer to why.
Yeah.
But yeah, what about you out there? What is a universe out there that you want to see a dating sim of? You let us know right there in the comments below.
Transformers.
Robots in disguise.
I want them to pull up and take me for a ride.
Oh man. Okay. Let's see.
Bumblebee playing me R&B songs because he can't talk.
And it's like set in the 80s, so it's like that old school R&B.
Do you think he would stay up to date on current events?
Well, I was just thinking, like, back when I used to flirt back in the day, I used to, like, send song lyrics from songs and shit. It'd be no different. He's just using the song lyrics to communicate.
We all did that, Matt.
Yeah, you know, that's what
No,
I'm
I
saying.
know. I'm
It's no
saying,
different.
like, if he continued to do that, like, in this day, would Bumblebee be up to date on the fact that playing R. Kelly is kind of improper now?
Or P. Diddy.
Well, I mean, that man unfortunately has his hands tied up in so much of the music industry. It's really that I feel like that's even harder.
You just gotta stay away from the whole East Coast.
Yeah.
P. Diddy and P. Diddy adjacent.
Yeah. You be listening to one song and then all of a sudden you hear just like him go, yeah. And I'd be like, God,
Like,
damn,
nigga, you here too?
why are you here? This is Fallout Boy.
Oh man. Let's watch this trailer for Neighborhood
Hold
Watch.
your horses!
Sir, I need a ride.
Why don't you go to the neighbor on the other side of you? Because maybe they'll give you.
She had light hair. She was about 20.
What about the man? Eyes, hair, anything?
I didn't really get a good look at his face.
We'll call you.
You need a haircut, bro. Ooh, no.
Sir, I know you can hear me.
You live next door, screw loose.
Wait, weren't you like a cop or something?
Or something.
I didn't even realize that was Negan at first.
Yeah, that's Jeffrey Dean Morgan. I just came to the same realization.
Woman gets shoved into a white
Yep.
van.
Couple of
You think she was a
news
working
from the
girl?
boys.
I don't know where she works.
Oh my God. Follow my lead. I am Lieutenant Mitchum, Homewood Police Department. This is my partner.
Got Quaid is in everything this year,
Just let the police handle this.
or at least in everything else.
Sir.
The man has stolen plates.
What's your move now, tough guys?
Improvise. We don't even know if these people exist.
We're too late.
She's gone.
What happened?
She was attacked.
What am I supposed to do? Give him a perm?
What do we do? Just knock on the door?
Yeah, we start with that.
It's crazy that Jeffrey Dean Morgan didn't really blow up until he was in like his late 30s, early 40s.
Just tells you that it's never too late.
As someone in their late 30s, early 40s, it is time for me to blow the fuck up, ladies and gentlemen.
All right. Let's get to my topic.
Take your topic off.
So, if you were a hero in an action movie, what would your catchphrase be? What would be the thing that you say, a little wink to the camera as you take out your nemesis, the villain, the bad guy? What's your catchphrase?
Do you want us to
You
go
want us to go
first?
first?
Yeah, you can go.
Go ahead, Mara.
Oh, so mine was Spiggity Swoogity. I came to kick some booty.
Okay.
Yep.
And where did this come from?
All right. Oh shit! I almost kicked my ball over. I once saw this meme of this deer, and the deer was like running funny, but it was like swiggity swiggity, I'm coming for that booty, or something like that. But the deer looked crazy deranged, and for whatever reason, that shit has always stuck with me.
Okay.
I'm sure I have it somewhere saved on my computer.
It would not surprise me.
What about that?
Well, I told you I had a little trouble with this. At one point, I was thinking about just stealing a line from Seth Rollins that we have saved over on the Smack and Raw clips, which is "Bye bye, bitch." which works. But I figured to stay true to who I am and what we do here, I would have to look at the camera, wink, and say the line that I say at the end of every episode of Getting Offed, which is, "You just got offed."
I like it. I like it. Well, for me, it's actually very simple. It's right here.
Do better.
Did I ever tell y'all the origins of where that came from? Like why I started saying that?
I found it.
Was it either Marquise or Kobe?
No. So it actually started when I was in high school. So I'm in band time, concert season, marching band season's over. We're just in concert, sitting in the band room playing. And it was very important for our director at the time, Bobby Lambert. Shout out to Bobby. That when we play the first note or whatever we play, we come in at exactly together, exactly the same time, perfect first note, or he'd stop us. And normally when he does that, he point out something like, clarinet, you were a little early, or flute, you came in late, or saxophones, you came in too loud, all that kind of stuff. But one day, he directed us to start, play our first note, and it was just not together, not good, nothing like that. And instead of doing that, he just looked around at us and he said, "Do it better." And the next time we came in and we did it better, we did it right. And it's just like interesting, like most of the time you kind of know what you did wrong and what you need to, what you need to fix. And so you don't have to tell people exactly what's wrong. Just tell them to do better.
Which Travis does to me all of the time.
So, and most often, you know what you did wrong. So it's just like, do better. And I think the world can do better. So I'll say to the world right now, because gesturing to everything, do better. And that's it. That's mine. But anyway, that's the origins of do better. That's why I say it to this day.
I found the
found what?
Found the image I was talking about.
Okay.
Just make sure you kill them, Travis, because if you don't kill them, what the fuck is that?
Told you it was a deer running weird.
Lickety swooty, I'm coming for that booty. Okay. I don't know about you, Mara, but Matt, you played Street Fighter 2 back in the day, right?
Yeah.
Remember what Guile used to say after he beat somebody?
No.
On the screen? He would beat your ass, and if he beat you, he would say, "Go home and be a family man."
So, I never played as Guile. I played as two people, Dasleen and Blanca. That was it. I didn't really fuck with anyone else. My sister used to play as Chun-Li and always whoop my ass. It was what it was. Those kicks, goddamn man. Kicks.
Mm-hmm.
But
for me, it was always Guile or Ryu.
I did have a Guile. I don't know if you remember this, but Street Fighter and Mortal Kombat had G.I. Joe size action figures.
Vaguely.
And I had a Guile action figure. I know I had a Sub-Zero or a Smoke. I had a bunch of them. And they were cool as shit. And I miss those. And I wish they'd bring those back.
Yeah. I see. What about you out there? If you were an action hero, let us know what your catchphrase would be. What would you say in your triumphant moment? Let us know right there in the comments because we want to hear. All right, kids. Got a few more trailers to choose from.
Ooh.
See, Travis, if I was you, I would have gone with the Booker T line, but I can't.
Mara, do you know what he's talking about?
I don't know. Did I pity the nigga? Like, I don't know.
I mean, it's close. We're coming for you, nigga. But
in the ballpark.
He was
he said Booker
really
T, not Mr. T.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, no, he was really excited and said that on TV, and he was not supposed to say that on TV about Hulk Hogan.
And honestly, it was the realest moment ever in the history of wrestling. But Because the amount of times, like, I'm afraid that niggas gonna slip out of my mouth in the wrong setting because I say it so much and I call everybody nigga. So it's just like shit. I said it to the door this morning. Like, it's just like I say it all the fucking time. So there's times like we could be in work meetings and it's just like I feel it. Sometimes I'll just be like, nigga, what? And I'm like, ooh, I didn't say it. Good. Good. But anyway, trailers. I'll let y'all choose between two categories. I have a feeling I know what you're going to say, but I'm going to give you two categories. Sci-fi or horror?
Horror.
Oh, hi, Ozzy.
Oh.
Hey, come over here.
Okay.
Don't go that way. No, don't go around.
Both of these are sequels, but I imagine both of you have seen the original, so.
Come here. There you are.
Megan 2.0.
Oh boy.
I'll admit.
Really?
Bugs in my programming. It's hardly fair to blame me for that. But one thing hasn't changed. I will do whatever it takes to protect Katie. What the hell is this? You put me in this plastic Teletubby?
Prove you can be trusted, maybe we'll give you an upgrade.
Don't give her an upgrade.
We have a problem. We're hunting an autonomous android named Amelia. She was built using your design for Megan.
Why?
It's possible. We deleted it.
Apparently you didn't. Nothing in our arsenal can stop her. She's gone rogue.
Oh.
And who's contributed to her creation.
I think I did it up.
And you and Katie are next.
I know how to stop Amelia. She's getting more powerful. Soon she'll be the most dangerous weapon on the planet. Put me in a body and I'll help you stop her.
You remember what happened last time. You threatened to rip out my tongue and put me in a wheelchair.
I was upset.
He wants to help us.
Everyone deserves a second chance.
You would like us to rebuild a deranged robot.
You remember what happened in the first movie?
I gave you a printout that you can read at your own pace.
Okay, Megan.
Where else do I know that
Give you
lady
an
from?
upgrade. Anything you'd like to add?
Which one?
Which one?
I guess her mother?
Her aunt.
Yeah.
Okay.
Hey, so remember the
She was in.
I want you to know.
God, what have I seen her in?
That face just looks familiar. Like, I know that white lady.
She looks a lot like Jennifer Connelly.
Get out.
Who's Jennifer Connelly? Oh,
Get out.
Okay. Thank you. Yep, that's it.
It's like I was like, she's the crazy girl.
Well, look who came out to play.
I was
They're
programmed
eating
to
her
protect
cereal
you.
separate
The
from
only
the milk
question
and shit.
is, are you going to stand in my way?
What in the fuck is this movie?
I don't care if she did kill 4 people. She is a smoking hot warrior princess.
I'll make you a deal. You can kill Gemma, but don't touch Katie.
Megan.
Honestly, it seems pretty funny. Like, I'm gonna watch it. I didn't love the first Megan. Like, I didn't hate it, but I didn't love it. It wasn't something that I was like, I need this in my collection. I'm gonna go buy it. It was something that I was like, I watched it. All right, cool. It is what it is. I've seen it. That looks fun. I'm gonna go fucking see that. Like, also, my favorite thing about horror movies right now is taking old school pop or R&B songs and using them in the trailers and making them kind of twisted and fucked up, like what Jordan Peele does.
Yeah.
And I'm
the Boys to Men was unsettling. But anyway, go ahead.
I'm still mad that for Candyman they had that Say My Name, but it was never actually a song or anything that I could download and do, like listen to. Like, I could get that. I got 5 on it, no problem. I have it, with the creepy mix. Like, got that. Could not get whatever version of Say My Name they had in the trailer, and I am pissed about that because I need that shit. Cloak and Dagger did that too. I think with Oops, I Did It Again. Or no, Hit Me Baby One More Time. Cloak and Dagger did that.
All right, we got a little more time. Let's go to the sci-fi trailers.
Oh, you don't want to know what I've been watching and playing?
Not really.
God of War Ragnarok, because they dropped the new skins for the anniversary.
That's nice.
Ooh.
Matt, have you been watching Strange New Worlds?
Coming.
Star Trek? Did you see the first?
No,
two
I have
seasons?
not.
You didn't? Okay, well then.
Oh wait.
Season 3.
Yes, no, I have. Okay, I thought there was new episodes, and I've not been watching it, but I did watch the first 2 seasons. Yes.
Yeah, new season is coming soon, so there's a new trailer for it.
Okay.
But if you hadn't seen the first 2 seasons, I wasn't going to do that to you because I want you to watch the show.
There's a Goofy movie documentary coming out.
I heard.
There's I just saw the trailer showing.
Is it in Lego?
No.
Everything's better in Lego.
We want to give audiences a reflection.
It's a Goofy movie.
Lens of fantasy. You know, science fiction. All of
I already don't like this.
Yeah, I don't know what's happening here either.
Our reality has been changed.
I see it. I don't believe it.
Exciting, isn't it?
Good morning.
Good morning, bye.
Your host.
Is this a new show?
One of you.
No.
This is season 3.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
You're just in time. We're going to wire the Enterprise.
Hello?
It's for you.
Court thruster standing by.
Do you realize
Why are there
how
phones
rare
in the
a show
Enterprise?
like this is?
Indeed.
What is happening?
That's all we need.
As someone who's seen the first 2 seasons of the show, I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know what the fuck is happening there.
You know, Mr. Scott, we make a pretty good team.
Because I know, like, they got Rebecca Romaine out of her trouble and her bullshit and got her back in a station. And
Yeah, I know that, but that doesn't help with all the other weird shit that was going on. Her being there was the most sensical thing we saw in that trailer.
As someone who hasn't seen any of those.
also, all my Star Trek is blurring together now. Because, like, which one was the one where... did you watch... what's the other one that's on Paramount? There was Picard, and then there was
3 on Paramount. There's a Strange New Worlds, there's Picard, and then Discovery.
Did Discovery have, like... No, it was Picard that had, like, Picard's kid or some shit.
Yeah, that
somebody's
was Discovery.
kid. Yeah, okay. There was something up with them. It was a whole thing.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Did you watch the whole thing?
Yeah.
Okay, so you got to the end and was like, oh, that was beautiful. Yeah. The whole crew got back together and shit, and they all sat in the seats and all. It was like, yeah. All right. Star Wars or Five Nights at Freddy's 2?
Star Wars.
Okay. It says Star Wars Tales of the Underworld.
We need some cartoons.
Just do as I say. Never can be too cautious with strangers out here.
Never can be too cautious with strangers anywhere, but...
Also, to be fair, like, this Star Wars animation stuff is kind of like the DC animated movies where they're a lot better than the live action. Like, this shit is really good.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
We got a problem here.
Just saw him right in.
Oh, shit.
What's the situation? He was your best friend. Things have changed. You took everything from me.
Who
outside the law?
I was Count Dooku's lead assassin. I don't want that life anymore.
Thane? No one needs to die.
Get them.
You're gonna pay for what you did. This revenge, I hope it's worth it. It will be.
Cad Bane's pretty badass.
Okay. That actually looks pretty interesting to me. However, most Star Wars on paper looks pretty interesting to me. I've talked about this a million times. It's magic space samurais with fucking laser swords. I should love this, but it's just like it almost never really hits for me. But
you probably really like the Bad Batch. The
Bad Batch
might need to watch. The Bad Batch is a show on Disney Plus in that animation style, and it is about like rogue or defective kind of clones that got kicked out of the clone army or left the clone army, and it's not Jedi.
Batch. Gotcha.
Yeah, they're not Jedis.
I hear you. All right, folks, that'll be it for this week's episode of the Creatia Conversation. Do not forget it. You can follow us on all our platforms, Instagram, TikTok, and Twitter at It's Creatia World. That is at ITSCREATIA World. Also on Blue Sky, creatiaworld.bsky.social. You can also find us on Facebook at facebook.com/Creatia World. And while you're there, you should check out our Facebook groups. One of them being facebook.com/group/them dragons. If you're a fan of Game of Thrones, or House of the Dragon, all that good stuff, or, Dunkin' Egg that's coming out later on this year, hop on in there, talk about that stuff. Or if you think dragons are cool, you got a cool picture of a dragon, just drop it in there. Let us know. I enjoy that shit. So do it. Were you about to say something, Matt?
No.
Oh, okay. I thought you had something to say. My bad. Also on Facebook at facebook.com/group/smacking it raw if you're a wrestling fan. Matt, why don't you tell them about that?
Now I'm about to say something. Facebook.com/group/smacking it raw is a wrestling group on Facebook where you can go and share memes, talk the latest news and rumors, wrestling, pay-per-views, stuff going on, but it doesn't have all of the negativity that you get everywhere else in wrestling spaces on the internet.
Dope. You can find me on all the socials at Lord_Cussalott. That is at LORD_CUSSALOTT everywhere except for Blue Sky where there's no underscore. Mara, where can they find you?
All those same places at Mara the Shark, MARADASHARK.
Matt Man, where can they find you?
On Twitter at Matt Ridders, MATTRIDDER, for your wrestling content, at Getting Off for your horror content, and everywhere else, TikTok, Instagram, Threads, and Blue Sky at Smacking It Raw.
That's it for this week. We'll see you next time. Until then, we out.
Bye.
You just got offed.